Hallo und herzlich willkommen YouTube, zurück bei Order Lagacies. Wir machen jetzt hier weiter. Wir haben jetzt gerade in der Tiefgarage einen Zeugen verhört und guck mal, wie es jetzt weitergeht.
We're going to start by what we call defining your moment.
Gwendolyn Scott?
Yes.
I'm Detective Ray Curtis. This is Detective Benson. We need to talk to you for a minute.
So sorry, I'm busy.
It's important.
My client is important. You can call my office.
You know, a guy named Tom Newberry just gave me this girl's number, PR flack. She likes to buy voicemail passwords and blackmail her clients. Maybe I'll call her instead.
"5 minutes. Was that fun, Detective?
Sometimes I like to play rough.
Well, so do I. But a little charm can go a long way.
Okay, you're gonna tell me how you deleted Rachel Trevino's voicemails.
Whoa, down boy. What voicemails?
If you don't tell me now, we're gonna take you downtown.
Fine. And I'll call my lawyer and we can just sit there and stare at each other like a bad first date, because I don't know what you're talking about and I don't like your attitude.
Sorry, I promise this will only take a moment of your time. You're a busy girl.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
And I promise I won't make up extra questions as an excuse to talk to you longer.
All right, Romeo, settle down. Ask away.
Okay,
Does the name Rachel Trevino mean anything to you?
No. Should it?
She was murdered last night. We found her body at the Parkview Regency.
Oh, poor girl. As if life isn't tough enough for housekeeping.
I didn't say anything about her being with housekeeping.
I must have read it in the
verdammt.
paper.
Nothing's been released to the papers yet.
It must have been gossip. You know how these things get around, Detective.
nein, natürlich nicht. Verdammt.
Tom Newberry already told us you knew her.
Oh, that Rachel. Of
Yeah.
course. My mistake. I can be such an airhead.
Gut, dann geht er
Do
mit
you know Tom Newberry?
No.
Nein. W sagte bereits, dass sie ihn kannte und für Passwörter bezahlte. Ja, das kann natürlich auch stimmen, ne? Aber er sagt ja bereits, der Tom, der das verkauft hat, dass sie ihn dafür bezahlt hat.
He says he knows you. That's how we got your name.
A lot of people know me.
Do a lot of people call you?
Not the right people.
Anrufe.
So if I look up your phone records and Tom Newberry called you, and you talked to him more than once, now, would I be crazy to think you're lying to me?
I'd say you were just jealous.
Nein, natürlich korrigiert sie nicht. Leuten aus der PR-Branche kann man nicht trauen, das ist Quatsch. Ich hab jetzt nur gelogen.
I'm not the jealous type, Miss Scott, and I don't like playing games. You knew him.
Fine. Yes, we did business. I paid him for insider information.
You paid Tom for what, exactly?
Passwords. I paid Tom for access to voicemail accounts.
So you could delete Rachel Trevino's voicemails?
Look, I really shouldn't say.
Did you want to keep her quiet? Miss Scott, were you involved in her murder?
No, I did delete Rachel's voicemails, yes, but I did it for someone else.
Und für
On
wen?
someone else's orders. Understand?
Geständnis stimmen mit Toms Aussage überein, dass sie ihn für den Telefonzugang bezahlt hat und er keine Sprachnachrichten gelöscht hat. Ihre Aussage muss wahr sein, dass da sie belastet, stimmt James Gray Aussage überein, dass Tom Newberry im Zugang einen Tickangriff Sprachnachrichten gelöscht hat. Ah, verdammt! Ihre Aussage muss wahr sein, da sie belastet, ist Quatsch. Obwohl. Na, sie kann deswegen ja auch lügen. Ihr Geständnis stimmt mit Toms Aussage überein, dass sie ihn für den Telefonzugang bezahlt hat und er keine Sprachnachrichten gelöscht hat. Er hat ja Sprachnachrichten gelöscht. Ihr Geständnis stimmt mit James Grays Aussage überein, dass Tom Newberry im Zugang eines Hackerangriffs Sprachnachrichten gelöscht hat. Was war dann aber richtig?
All right, I'm listening. Why don't you tell me a little more? Was someone else involved?
Ja, es war ja mit uns beteiligt.
Who asked you to delete the voicemails?
A client. I really can't tell you.
I'm gonna find out anyway. I'm actually pretty good at this detective thing.
Well, crap. I guess it's all over for me anyway. Here's the deal. I gave Rachel's password and voicemails to my usual buyer, Alexander Baran.
Alexander Baran, as in CEO of Wider Media? The Russian guy who owns like half the television stations in America?
The very same. Baran bought Rachel's voicemail access from me a few weeks ago, and then told me to delete them all.
Ja, das ist wahr. Okay, also haben wir jetzt mal eine Verbindung zu Wider Media, was in ihrem Notizbuch stand, zu dem Alexander Baran. Order Media war in Rachels Notizbuch vorgemerkt, habe ich gerade gesagt, genau. Das habe ich ja jetzt notiert.
Wider Media. Rachel wrote that in her day planner. It didn't click until now. Miss Scott, why was Alexander Baran interested in Rachel Trevino? She's a maid. He's a Russian billionaire. I don't get it.
Rachel Trevino was not a hotel maid. She was an activist, a blogger, and she had uncovered some dirty, dirty secrets about Alexander Baran. He's a very bad boy detective.
What did she find out?
Baran has a problem keeping it in his pants, especially when it comes to housekeeping staff. We've had to cover up a few unsavory encounters. Rachel tried to set up a sting going undercover at the hotel, and I honestly don't know what happened after that, but I think she got in over her head.
Did Baran kill her?
And this is where my lawyer would advise me to keep my mouth shut.
Come on, Gwen.
Oh, now it's Gwen. I like that. Okay, look, all I'm gonna say is the Parkview Regency Hotel has a front desk, right? Ask them who stayed there on Saturday.
Okay. Also am Samstag, wer im Hotel war. Er hat sich immer, der Baran ist Milliardär aus Russland. Sie ist eine Aktivistin, geht dagegen vor und Baran hat sich immer gegenüber dem Hotelpersonal vergriffen. Okay, dann gucken wir mal weiter. Also wir kommen auf jeden Fall schon mal voran in dem Fall.
That was Cormac at the precinct. Alexander Baran was a guest at Parkview Regency the night Rachel was killed. He checked out earlier today and he's on his way to MacArthur Airport. He's got a private jet and an appointment in London.
Well, he's gonna be late.
Mr. Baran! Mr. Baran! Detective Curtis, NYPD. We need to talk to you about the murder of a hotel maid over the weekend.
A maid? Are you serious? I'm leaving for London.
Look like about 1.5 inches to you, Ray?
Sure does.
Mr. Alexander Baran, you are under arrest for the murder of Rachel Trevino. You have the right to remain silent.
Okay, jetzt müssen wir uns ganz genau der Stock konzentrieren.
I don't know why we're wasting time here. I'm a Russian. I have diplomatic immunity.
We did a little research on you, Mr. Braun. Rachel's blog was a very interesting read. Maids, waitresses, executives at your own company? Is there any woman you wouldn't hit on? Your mom?
Miss Benson, I am a handsome, virile man. I radiate power. Women are attracted to it despite themselves.
Here's a clue. When a woman is attracted to you, she does not slap you with a sexual harassment lawsuit. You've had 12.
I'm a flirt. I get slapped with all sorts of things.
Okay. Fangen wir an mit Rachel Trevino.
Did you know Rachel Trevino?
No.
We have DNA evidence that says you did.
What kind of evidence?
A rape kit.
You don't know what you're talking about. It was completely consensual.
So you do know her?
You cops think you have it all figured out. Guess what? We were lovers.
Ja, gut. Wer sagte aus, dass Rachel keinen Freund hatte? Das war die Zimmerdame.
I'm not buying it. Sorry, Charlie. An earlier witness already told us Rachel didn't have a boyfriend. And you lied about knowing her just now. That's 2 strikes.
A jury might see it different. When I left the room, that girl was alive.
You had access to Rachel's voicemails, and you destroyed them to cover up your connection.
Not true. I never touched the voicemails.
Das ist richtig, er hat es nicht selber gemacht. Der allglatte Typ sagt im Grunde die Wahrheit. Wer hat die Sprachnachrichten gelöscht? Gwendolyn Scott. Tom Newberry gab es einen Auftrag und Gwendolyn Scott hat sie dann gelöscht.
Nice try. Gwen Scott told us she deleted the voicemails on your orders. You're guilty as sin, Baron.
If you say so.
Rachel knew all about you. She was gathering evidence about you, about unreported assaults.
I wouldn't know anything about that. I never even heard these voicemails you're so very concerned about.
Ja, es ist egal.
So let's say, maybe this girl, Rachel, maybe she liked it a little rough. And you obliged. Consenting adults, right?
Sure, completely consenting.
And the cane could have been involved.
Could have been.
Tell me how the cane fits into this scenario. Was it an accident?
I'm sure it must have been.
Did she ask you to use it?
Yes, she asked me to do it. It was her idea. She liked that kind of thing, I guess. Like I said, it was all consensual. This girl was kinky. She saw my cane. She wanted to try it. She was an adult.
So you admit it?
No. No.
Ja, die DNS. Die Quetschung an Rachels Hals, sein Stock und die Notiz zu Wikipedia an Rachels Notizbuch, okay. Der plötzliche Flug nach London, sein Stock und sein Aufenthalt im Hotel am Wochenende. Die Quetschung an Rachels Hals, sein Stock und die DNS-Proben, das passt eher. Die Aussage von Tom Newberry, die Quetschung an Rachels Hals und Barans Stock, das ist Quatsch. DNS ist belastender als die Notiz.
The bruise mark on Rachel's neck matches your cane. You just said she asked you to choke her out.
No, I'm not admitting anything to you people.
Come on, Baran. An innocent girl is dead. You want to be macho? You want to be a man? Why don't you tell the truth for once?
Okay, die nicht gemeldeten Übergriffe sind Ich probier's mal.
You know, killing the witness to a crime gets you an automatic upgrade to murder 1.
What crimes? What witness?
Rachel had evidence on you, Braun. She knew what you were up to.
She wasn't a witness to anything. Those voicemails were about an expose, a plan to blackmail me.
Ja. Oh.
You mentioned blackmail. Are you being blackmailed?
Why, yes. Why aren't you investigating the criminals behind this whole operation?
Who?
I'm very certain it's the Russian mob. I won't share my money with them, which they did not earn. So they want me embarrassed and disgraced.
Ja.
I wouldn't cough up a ruble for those thugs.
That's enough from you. Let's get back to the murder.
Verdammt. Falsche Fährte.
You've had 12 lawsuits?
Yes, what of it? They were all resolved.
I'm just impressed. I mean, you gotta be some kind of gentleman to cause that much noise.
I appreciate your sarcasm, but I'm not allowed to discuss the details of my settlements.
Ah.
You didn't come forward when you heard about the murder.
I had no reason to. A maid is killed. How is this my business?
She was your girlfriend.
Ah, but you say she is not detective.
Seems like you were trying to avoid this investigation.
No, I had every intention of cooperation. In fact, when you found me, I was on my way to see my lawyer.
Uh-huh. In your jet.
He's on vacation in Florida.
Das ist Quatsch. Nein, er wollte nach London.
You said you were headed to London. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump to Moscow from there, and then you'd be out of our reach.
Your knowledge of geography is so American.
You better wipe that smug smile off your face before you get to Rikers.
Miss Benson, I'm innocent of this offensive charge. My lawyers will have this all thrown out, and my country will protect me.
Really? We can place you at the murder scene. We can connect you to the victim and her voicemails. And your cane is a match for the murder weapon.
Now might be a good time to panic.
That's a hell of a lot of evidence to throw out.
That's why I have a hell of a lot of lawyers. Don't worry, I'll be out in a few days. Then maybe I'll call you, baby.
Gosh, you are just not my type. Come on, Ray. Let's go get a bite. Mr. Baran can stew in his own ick for a while.
Schade. Aber wenn es zu viele Möglichkeiten gibt, wird es schwierig. Anklageanhörung, Entschuldigung.
The district attorney's office takes a dim view of rape and murder in our city, Mr. Baran. Your defense contends you have diplomatic immunity, but the Russian consulate says you only have limited immunity.
My status protects me from prosecution of any crime committed in the course of my diplomatic mission. I met Miss Trevino in the capacity of a Russian media expert, as a diplomat.
Okay, also die Diplomatie ist auch eingeschränkt. Das wird schon mal eingeräumt.
Did you meet Rachel Trevino at the Parkview Regency?
She said she worked there, so we agreed to meet.
And instead you slept with her?
Yes, women are attracted to me, Miss Carmichael.
Not all of them.
Objection!
Withdrawn. The cane you carry matches the bruise on Ms. Trevino's neck. Did you have it with you during your meeting with her?
I don't know. It's a cane, Miss Carmichael, not a precious diamond. I don't watch it every single minute.
Ja. Er hat nämlich gesagt, dass er ihn dabei hat. Gwen Scott sagt, dass er den Stock immer bei sich trug. Ist, weiß ich nicht. Er wurde schon oft mit dem Stock fotografiert. Er trug den Stock bei sich, als er verhaftet wurde, also musste er ihn die ganze Zeit über sich dabei haben. Ist auch, naja. Der Polizei sagte er, dass Rachel gewürgt wurde, also musste er ihn beim Treffen dabei gehabt haben. Das ist auch. Ja, weil die Quetschungen waren ja nicht von der Hand.
Oh my God! That was for my daughter, you bastard!
Bailiff, restrain that man.
Order! Order!
Someone grab him!
My baby! My baby, you murderer!
Okay. Ja.
Judgment Day. Hero Dad gets revenge. Taking care of business. Father does what court cannot. American justice. The headlines go on. The people love this guy.
Chavez Trevino. He killed the smug bastard who killed his daughter. Of course they love him.
How the hell did he get a gun into the courtroom?
This is gonna get messy quick. I say we charge him with voluntary manslaughter and let it go.
Abby?
You know what keeps me up at night? What if his aim was off? Just slightly. I wouldn't even be here to answer your question, Jack.
You're right. I'm not setting a precedent for street justice in our courtrooms, despite what the people think they want. Prove it was premeditated. Hit him with murder 1.
You got it, boss.
How does your client plead, Ms. Mullins?
Not guilty. Be advised, we're going to mount a diminished capacity defense. The defendant is a Gulf War vet who suffers from chronic post-traumatic stress disorder. We will show that Mr. Trevino was under extreme emotional distress at the time of the shooting and is therefore not eligible for murder 1.
Any issues, counselor?
None, Your Honor. Defense has briefed us already. This doesn't change anything. We're moving ahead with murder 1. Focus on the premeditation.
Okay. Ihre erste Zeugin ist Detective Benson. Als Augenzeugin wird sie über den Hergang der Schießerei aussagen und den Geschworenen ein unverfälschtes Bild des Mordes vermitteln. Konzentrieren Sie sich auf die relevanten Details der Schießerei, nicht auf die öffentliche Meinung, um den Fall zu gewinnen. Im Anschluss an Ihre Fragen wird die Verteidigung Sie ins Kreuzverhör nehmen und Ihre Geschichte auseinanderpflücken. Viel Glück. Na, danke.
Can you tell us definitively who shot Alexander Baran?
Without a doubt, the defendant, Chavez Trevino, shot him. I looked to see Mr. Trevino standing up with a smoking gun in his hand. Literally.
And can you identify him for the court?
Sitting right there. That's your shooter.
Ja, natürlich. Achten Sie auf das Waage der Gerechtigkeitssymbol auf der linken Seite, um zu sehen, auf welcher Seite die Geschworenen stehen. Die Waage wird sich zu ihren Gunsten neigen, wenn sie vor Gericht überzeugend auftreten. Andererseits wird sie zugunsten des Verteidigers neigen. Also, Benson sagt aus. Sie hat den Mörder, also den Vater, gesehen mit der qualmenden Waffe. Und wie er zweimal geschossen hat. Aber sie hat es nicht gesehen, den Schuss, aber wie die qualmende Waffe, wie er da stand. Je stärker sich die Waage zu ihren Gunsten neigt, desto wahrscheinlicher werden die Geschworenen für schuldig stimmen. Außerdem werden sie bei Verhandlungen über einen Deal über das größere Druckmittel verfügen. Das ist ja egal. Naja.
Please let the record show the detective pointed at the defendant.
Ja, und sie hat ihn identifiziert.
Detective, how exactly did Mr. Trevino get a gun into the courtroom?
Verdammt.
Aren't there security measures?
We're still investigating how he breached security. But he claims he stuffed it into his jacket and simply walked through.
How difficult would it have been to get past security?
Mr. Trevino had to avoid metal detectors and checkpoints covering every entrance.
What would it take to get past all that security, Miss Benson?
Forethought, planning, and intelligence. Mr. Trevino had to keep his cool and his wits about him at all times.
Was tut Benson da? Diese Aussage entlastet doch den Angeklagten noch. Nein! Ich sage gleich warum. Wenn ihr nicht kommt. Weil, ich lese mir das jetzt noch nicht durch, sie sagt ja aus wegen der posttraumatischen Störung. Aus dem Golfkrieg? Wo war's? Oh Gott. Warum will Carter, dass Benson Angaben des Trevinos geistiger Fassung macht? Um klarzustellen, dass Trevino nicht unter extremer seelischer Belastung stand, als er schoss. Um in den Weg für eine Ungültigkeit um den Zweifel daran auf das Trevino schützen, um klarzustellen, dass Benson... Das Erste. Denn die Verteidigerin sagt, dass er das gar nicht gewesen sein kann wegen der posttraumatischen Störung. Aber hier sagt er eindeutig aus, es muss geplant werden, muss vorbereitet werden, muss umgesetzt werden. Also das auf jeden Fall. Ganz klar.
Actions inconsistent with someone under emotional distress.
In my view, yes.
Okay. Das wollen wir vermeiden. Deswegen
After the
das.
shooting, Mr. Trevino made a voluntary statement to you about why he shot Mr. Baran. True?
Yes.
What did he say?
He said Mr. Baran had to die. He said Mr. Baran was going to claim immunity, escape prosecution, and run back to Russia.
Er muss sterben. Sonst keine Strafe. Motiv.
What else did he say?
He said the courts were weak, powerless. He said the only justice he wanted was a death sentence.
So, his motive was less about avenging his daughter's murder and more about exacting the type of justice he wanted to see.
Objection.
Withdrawn.
Gute Arbeit. Manchmal punkten Sie bei den Geschworenen mit einer gut formulierten Spitze gegen Angeklagten, auch wenn Sie den Kommentar zurücknehmen müssen. Okay.
Is there any doubt as to the circumstances of the shooting, Detective?
None. Mr. Trevino shot the defendant in front of witnesses and admitted to the murder afterward. I wish every case was as simple.
Thank you, Detective. Your Honor, the people rest. No further questions for this witness.
Okay, das haben wir schon mal gut überstanden. Bei dieser Aussagen standen die Geschworenen auf der Seite der Staatsanwaltschaft. Die haben gewonnen 50 Punkte, stand die Geschworenen stand. Okay. Gut, und wie es dann weitergeht, sehen wir in der nächsten Folge bei Order Lagacies. Macht's gut, tschüss und ciao. Wenn es euch gefallen hat, lasst einen Daumen nach oben da oder gerne einen Kommentar. In diesem Sinne, macht's gut.